Me up. That's me. And there's Jamal Gumo. JG, what's up, my brother? Good evening and happy Thanksgiving. Happy early Thanksgiving to you and all of our wonderful watchers and viewers of the broadcast tonight. How are you, my brother?
I'm fantastic, and again, happy Thanksgiving to you as well, man. You are like family to me, brother. So I'm definitely thankful for you. And the rest of the viewers tonight, of course. Happy Thanksgiving to y'all. I'm ready. I'm ready. Thanksgiving, means two things: food and football. And so I'm happy to be here to talk more football tonight. And it's always a pleasure being on here with you, and of course JP, who'll be joining us here in a little bit.
Yeah, he's doing Arizona Christian football. The brother's all over the place, so he'll join us whenever he gets home from Glendale. But actually, it's three things, Jamal. It's family, food, and football. So there's three things come Thanksgiving time.
Yep, couldn't agree more. I did miss that. I forgot the other F.
Well, you know what? It's actually five things. Let's see: family, food, football. More family, more food, more football. So it's like six things for Thanksgiving, really, if you count it.
I like the way you think, yeah. I knew it was something. I knew it was something. I like the way you think, brother. Yeah, I'm already knowing.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. But let's go ahead and kick into this thing. So the Open, the 6A, and the 5A, Jamal, we got so many Titans that's going to do battle on Friday and Saturday night. We'll start off with the with a rematch of a big time game that happened 3 weeks ago. The Hamilton Huskies and the Chandler Wolves. They're going to get it on Saturday night over at Dobson. Jamal, number 1 against number 4. Hamilton's coming in unblemished, 11-0. Chandler's 9-2. One of their losses, of course, being to Hamilton a couple of weeks ago, 55-41. Jamal, just give me your initial thoughts on this game. We're hoping to be joined by Chandler head coach Ty Wisdom and wide receiver Jaden Spann and defensive back Jacob Najor. So hopefully they'll join us, JG. But until they do, let's go ahead and talk about this game, which is going to be a titanic matchup over at Dobson on Saturday night.
Yeah, Ed, it's going to be fantastic. It's going to be great. Chandler coming off a win over Brophy College Prep, of course, the school in which Larry Fitzgerald's son, Devin Fitzgerald, it plays at. And so, and the reason why I mentioned that is because, boy, it was a high-scoring game. 34-45, Chandler did come away with the W. And the difference maker in this game, Ed, what led Chandler to the win was the turnovers. They caused 3 picks. And so in playoffs, I mean, mistakes cost double. But turnovers cost double. And so when you play a game that is so built on moments, turnovers specifically, you're going to lose that game. And now that was for Brophy. Chandler capitalized off the turnovers. They ran the ball really well. They were able to capitalize off the turnovers, put points up on the board after turning Brophy over. And that's the threat of their defense, Ed, is turning the ball over, and they did exactly that this weekend.
Right. I mean, they had a 21-0 lead at the half, JG over Brophy, but then things kind of spiraled out of control defensively for Chandler when they gave up 34 points in the second half. I'm sure Coach Wisdom was not happy about that. But you talk about Devin Fitzgerald, what a game he had. Let me look, 14 catches, 253 yards, and 4 touchdowns, JG, in that game. That young man was unstoppable. Case Vanden Bosch, outside of those 3 interceptions, the turnovers that you mentioned, he was fantastic with 4 touchdowns. But just the 3 interceptions, as you mentioned, pretty much doomed Brophy. You cannot turn the ball over once, let alone 3 interceptions in a playoff game. When your season depends on you playing strong football, you cannot turn the ball over that many times.
No, can't happen. And I think Devin Fitzgerald heard about his dad. He said, "Oh, his dad is on the getting ready to go in the Hall of Fame." He said, "All right, you know what? Let me show him why he's going into the Hall of Fame." And you just ran off his stats: 14 for 253 and 4 tubs. That is ridiculous. That's ridiculous. And for them to be able to put up points like that in the second half, now to Chandler's got to finish games. They got to finish games way better. Yes. Now they put up 24 points in the second half. It shouldn't have got that close, Ed. It shouldn't have got that close. No. And now again, Brophy helped them out by turning the ball over as much as they did. The 3 picks can't do that, Ed, and especially in the playoffs. And so credit to Chandler for being able to capitalize, offset turnovers. Will Mental, 16 for 146 on the ground and a touchdown. Like if you can run the ball and you can stop the other team from running the ball, you have a very good chance to win any football game at any level, Ed. And that's exactly what Chandler did and came away with the dub this week.
Yeah, you mentioned number 7, his numbers on the ground, the 146, 3 touchdowns, also 2 through the air, JG, 281 through the air, 427 all-purpose yards. The young man was on fire. But another thing that kind of alarms me about Chandler, other than giving up all those points in the second half and making it even a tighter game than it should have been, their penalties. 13 penalties for 82 yards, Jamal. We know turnovers and penalties are the death knell of any football team, especially in the playoffs. You can't have 13. You can't have one penalty, let alone 13.
Yeah, that's disciplined football, Ed. Got to be more disciplined. Now, that also gives credit to how talented and how skilled that Chandler is, but they have to get the penalties better because they're going up against Hamilton, who is, in my opinion, a better all-around football team than Brophy is. And if you have 13 penalties against Hamilton, I don't like the chances of them winning. So they got to stop shooting themselves in the foot. They got to get better. They got to get more disciplined. Their technique has to improve, or else they're going to get beat this week by Hamilton, again, who is a very, very good football team that's coming off a very, very impressive regular season.
Yes. And then all they got to do is look back to 3 weeks ago, Jamal, when they played Hamilton and they lost 55-41. They were up 14 at the half, Jamal. Then we talk about what they did against Brophy. They gave up all those points in the second half. They gave up 42 points to Hamilton in the second half. It was 27-13. And then the bottom fell out defensively for them. So they cannot have a replay of what happened 3 weeks ago against this very same Hamilton Huskies football team, where you know what's going to happen. They're going home. They're giving their pads in on Sunday. Meanwhile, Hamilton's moving on to the state championship. They know what the blueprint is. What you and I just said, turnovers, penalties, those things are a no-no. You cannot have that happen. Those are absolute no-nos if you want to move on to the state championship game.
Yeah, and Ed, I'm gonna steal a phrase from ASU head coach Kenny Dillingham. When you're up, you got to twist the knife. You got to twist the knife. You got to twist the knife. You got to step on their neck. Like, you have to keep your foot on the gas pedal. Chandler has not done a very good job of that, blowing a 21-0 lead. Not blowing it, but almost blowing a 21-0 halftime lead, blowing a 14-0 halftime lead against Hamilton, the team they're about to play against, and then continue to lose that game. It cannot happen. It cannot happen. And the two things that the one that we've been harping on the last few minutes are penalties and turnovers that can cause you to lose a lead like that. And so that's when you start getting lackadaisical. That's when you start getting satisfied. That's when you started getting, oh, okay, you know, we're up 14. That should be good enough. We're up 21. That should be good enough. These are talented football teams, Ed. These are talented football teams that are not giving up anytime soon. So if you let up, if you take your foot off the gas pedal, they have a good chance of coming back because of how talented and skilled and well coached these teams are. Hamilton being the perfect example because they just did it a few weeks ago. And so if you get a lead on this team, if you're Chandler, if you get a lead on Hamilton, you have to twist the knife. You have to put them in the ground. Like, you have to finish the game off. Or if you give them a chance to come back by turning the ball over, by committing so many penalties, they will come back. And again, like you said, Ed, they will be handing in their pads on Sunday.
JG, let me ask you, how much do you think Chandler having that week off, do you think that may have given them a little bit of rust coming into this game? I mean, it's good to have that week off, have the bye, because you earned that with the record that you had, the season that you had. But do you think they lost a little bit of momentum having that week off to prepare for whoever it would have been? And of course, in this case, it's Brophy.
If it were anything other than the penalties, I would say no. I would say no, they needed the rest, and the rest just made them better. But due to the amount of penalties that they've been committing and the lack of technique, the lack of discipline that they've been playing with, 13 penalties in a playoff game is unacceptable, Ed, as you mentioned. And due to that, again, lack of technique, lack of discipline, I do think the rust was caught up to them. I think that they got lazy. I think they got satisfied. I think they got content and saying, okay, we got the bye. You know what? I'm going to use this week to rest. I'm going to use this week to kind of chill and you know and take in what we did in the regular season. That's not what you're supposed to do. You are supposed to rest. You're supposed to get healthy, but you're also supposed to stay on top of what you're supposed to be doing. You're supposed to stay on top of your technique. You're practicing. Whatever the case may be, you're still practicing as if you were going into a game week, but except you just get that week off in terms of the game. And so I do think the rust showed up a little bit, again, especially to the lack of discipline that they played with last week against Brophy, that is being Chandler. So again, they earned the bye. They just didn't correctly take advantage of the bye that they earned.
And I'll tell you what, you got a two-headed monster at Hamilton with the running game, Jamal, Jacob Brown, Skylar Cole, and of course, this all-world young man at the wide receiver spot, Roy Oliver III. If you let that guy get loose, he will absolutely murder you. If you let Jacob Brown and Skylar Cole run all over your defense, you're going home. So they got a lot of work on their hands. They know they know that they've got a juggernaut that they're facing over at Dobson on Saturday night in this Hamilton Huskies team. And I'm assuming that maybe Daniel Vita will start again, maybe at quarterback. I know Jack Scully was injured, so we'll have to look and see who the starting quarterback is going to be. But whoever it is, if it's Vita or Jack Scully, they've got some monsters that they've got that they can hand the ball off to and throw the football to at Hamilton. That's how deep they are.
It's ridiculous, Ed. And usually, again, going into a playoff matchup, there's usually that one guy. Take away him, and if somebody else beats us, we'll live with it. Okay, take away him. If somebody else beats us, we'll live with it. They have 3 guys you have to take away. They have 3 guys in Jacob Brown, Skylar Cole, and Roy Oliver III. So you can't take away all of them. Away all of them. Where I would start, Ed, is you have to take away the run. If you're Chandler, you have to take away the run from Hamilton. Because if you take away the run, then you make him one-dimensional. Then you make them
right.
Then you know they're going to have to throw the ball. And now when you put them in obvious pass situations, then you have the advantage because you know they're going to throw the ball. So in that case, then you can take away Roy Oliver. Now, the next problem is getting Skylar Cole and Jacob Brown involved in the pass game, which is a whole nother set of problems because both of those guys can catch the ball out of the backfield. But if you make them one-dimensional, it makes them a lot more predictable. It makes them a lot easier to stop. Now, that is easier said than done because they have so many weapons. Like I said, you said, they have 3 weapons, 3 guys that can all do everything. And so if you can at least stop the run game and make them one-dimensional, put them in obvious pass situations, that makes things a little bit easier for Chandler Wolves.
Oh, yeah, that's going to be tough going up against a team that is unblemished, a team with very few weaknesses, if anything. You know, it's at a neutral site, and I know the crowd is going to be amped up just like they were 3 weeks ago when those teams did battle. JG, that is going to be a fantastic football game. I'm so excited about that. Actually, I think Jacob Najor joined. Let me see if we can pop him in. Hey, Jacob, how you doing? This is Ed and Jamal. Thanks for joining the show. Let me see if I can got you unmuted. How are you, brother? Good evening. Thank you for joining us.
Doing great. How are you guys?
Good. Did I pronounce your last name right? Najor?
It's Najor, yeah.
Najor.
Well, I was close. Najor.
Yes, sir.
Okay, that's close enough. Hey, Jamal, go ahead and jump in and ask Jacob. Go ahead and start it off.
Yeah, Jacob, you know what? Can just assess the regular season for me. Obviously, you had a successful regular season. You won a bunch of games. Is the reason why you were able to get the bye and go into the playoffs. Can you assess the regular season for me and also what the bye was like? What was your preparation going into the bye? Did it seem unfamiliar to not play a game going into the bye? What was the preparation like going into that first playoff game?
So preparation was really just like doing what we have been doing. We treated it as a week to make sure all of our bodies were right and making sure we're healthy because being a healthy team is always going to be important. Putting your best product out on the field. So yeah, we just treated it as like get your bodies right and get healthy, and we're still going to put in the work. And the bye was just really nice, and it was good for us. It was deserved as well.
Jamal, I'm going to go ahead and bring in Coach Wisdom. Here he is. Let me see if I can bring him in. Coach, let me see. Remove. I'm trying to figure this out here on the fly. There we go. There's Coach Wisdom. Good evening, sir. And Mr. Span, good evening. Thank you for joining us on the program tonight. Thank you for joining us. I know you're a couple days away from this big football game against Hamilton again. Coach, let's get your thoughts on Chandler Hamilton Part 2. You faced them 3 weeks ago. Of course, you know this opponent better than almost anybody. Break down this game. What do you see from the Hamilton Huskies? And what are going to be some keys to victory on Saturday night over at Dobson against the Hamilton Huskies?
Yeah, no, obviously excited to see them again. A big thing for us is right now, honestly, we're just focused on day by day. Like you said, this last week, I thought the kids did a good job in the bye week, not only taking care of their bodies, but also fixing some of the things that we needed to do. And then obviously playing a good Brophy team. I thought, I thought we did some great things on both sides of the ball, but then, it's kind of been a tale of 2 halves for us the last 2 games. So we're excited to put together a full 4 quarters this Saturday night, and know that we need to against a really good Hamilton football team.
You know, Coach, if you can kind of expand on it a little bit, obviously the offense looked great. You guys put up a bunch of points, a bunch of yards, but the thing that stands out is the 13 penalties. What is it that you can do as a team, maybe in practice, to kind of get that right and bring those penalties down so that you guys don't shoot yourself in the foot as much?
Yeah, I mean, it's easy to look on Max Preps and go, okay, you had 13 penalties, and some of the, like for example, in the Brophy game the other night, we have what's called no DAPs, which is not smart penalties, and we had one of those in that game. And we had plenty of them the first 10, and these guys will attest to that. So it's one of those things we continue to talk about, and you got to identify them in practice. Some of them you can control, some of them you can't. Some of them are energy plays and different things, but no doubt that we do stress it in practice and looking at it. And I thought we did a much better job against Brophy the other night as far as that goes.
Coach, being up 21-0 at the half, then 35-14, the 34 points you gave up to Brophy in the second half, was that a point of concern for you that, like that first game against Hamilton where you gave up 42 in the second half, just defensively, just giving up a lot of points in the second half compared to really solid first halves defensively?
Well, offensively against Hamilton, we didn't help our defense at all out in the second half. So the one thing we've talked about all year long is playing complementary football. And there's always concerns, whether it's special teams, offense, defense, when their things are going on. But, this team all year long has gone back and not pointed the finger, looked and said, hey, we need to do this. It's not offense did this, defense did this. It's, it's us and we and Chandler football. And so those are the things that we're focused on. Obviously, it's always concerning when you're maybe, like for example, we had 4 3-and-outs in the third quarter against Hamilton offensively, and then special teams, we struggled on a couple things. And then obviously in the Brophy game, we played a tremendous defensive first half, and then kind of got a little lackadaisical in the second half, and they made some plays, but but you go back to the drawing board and you don't panic. And I was proud of our guys for finishing it off.
Jaden, if I can ask you more of a locker room question, obviously you being an upperclassman, do you consider yourself to be a leader? And going into, again, probably the most important game of the season, what is your message to the team going into this week?
My message for the team is, no matter what the outcome is, always play your heart out. And I don't know. Yeah.
Jade, you've got such a deep receiving core against Brophy. 7 different receivers caught at least one pass. So the depth and just how dangerous that you can be with your passing game. Just talk about how good your passing game is and the strength of that. You've got Will Mency, who is an absolute monster at quarterback. He knows how to get the ball to you and the rest of your brothers as far as the wide receiver core goes. So talk about a major strength of your offense, which is your passing game.
Our offense is a very spread out offense. We dump the ball off. Some people go crazy, have 3 or 4 catches a game. Some people have 2 or 3 catches a game. It's always spread out. So some people will sometimes not have the ball, but they'll still play their heart out no matter what the outcome is.
Jaden, what's your relationship like with Will? Do you guys have a relationship off the field? Are you guys close, or maybe it's just a football relationship? What's your relationship like with Will?
My relationship with Will is a great relationship. We had class together last year. We've been brothers since the first time he came to Chandler, and we became best friends on and off the field, and we always communicate together.
Why don't you tell him how to say his last name so people start knowing it a little bit now? I think he deserved it after a few games. God.
How do we pronounce it, Coach?
It's Menzel, like pencil, but mental.
Oh,
I
okay.
gave Eric Sorensen a hard time. I'm like, you did a whole story on him, couldn't even pronounce his name right. So
Well, I'm
call him
sorry,
out.
Coach. I
He
apologize for
deserved it.
that.
No, you're good. You're good.
JP, go ahead and jump in,
Guys,
brother. You
yeah,
finally
thank
joined
you
us.
for
Thanks for
having
joining
me,
us,
guys.
brother.
I apologize for being late here tonight, but
No.
Coach Wisdom and Jacob and Jaden, we certainly appreciate you guys joining us. Coach Wisdom, it's great to have you back here in the Grand Canyon State. We were well aware of your prowess at the head coaching position. Just tell us how you've been able to put your overall stamp on the Chandler program in a very short amount of time.
I don't know if, I just come in and, from day one, I think it was a matter of us just, going to work together. And then, when you continue to go to work with people, that trust builds. And I think that's the only way, you can build a program. It's about relationships. And we go to work every day together, and it hasn't been easy. There's been bumps in the road, but proud of how these kids continue to come back to work every day. So like I said, really excited for them to have this opportunity Saturday.
Jacob, this one is for you. You've got so many weapons that you've got to defend against Hamilton. You've got two running backs that are outstanding backs for Hamilton, Jacob Brown and Skylar Cole. And of course, everybody knows Roy Oliver III and how great he's been and how good of a wide receiver and how tough he is to defend. When you look at Hamilton offensively, what do you see in them? You saw them 3 weeks ago, so you know this team very well. But what do you see from them, and what kind of dangers do they pose to your defense?
They certainly have a really good run game, and Roy Oliver, you can't discredit that kid. He's a phenomenal football player. So, we have to be on our stuff when we play against these guys again, and just redoing what we did in the first half of that game and trying to play a full game is certainly going to be a test. But I believe that the practice looks that we get this week and the practice looks that we got in the past couple of weeks against our offense will certainly oppose what Hamilton does.
Jacob, your defense forced 3 interceptions this past week. How important now? Everybody loves a pass breakup, a PBU, but how important is it to not only get your hands on the footballs, but make sure that you take it away?
It's certainly a tone setter. Big momentum switches like that are very big. It gets our offense juiced, the defense gets juiced, and we just go out there and like to fly around and catch the ball.
Coach Wisdom, I have a question for you. How do you prepare for a team that you've seen already in the same season? It's not going to be that different of a football team. Of course, a couple, be able to put a couple of wrinkles in and so forth into the game plan, maybe give you some stuff you haven't seen before. But how do you overall approach seeing a team twice in the same season?
Yeah. Obviously you go back to, depending on, how recent it was. Obviously our game was just a few weeks ago. So, number one, you go back and just look at, maybe different things they threw at you that you hadn't seen on film the first 9 weeks. But then the nice thing is you've seen their, firsthand, you've seen your guys go against there's certain guys. So you kind of know some of the matchups that you like and different things that maybe can cause them some problems. But then on the other hand, as you just said, there's wrinkles that, I know both staffs will throw in. So if it's something that you gave them problems with the first time, you got to expect you're going to see something else. So you got to be able to counter that. And I expect it'll be a good chess match on Saturday night.
Coach, let's shift over to special teams. Will, of course, is your punter. He's punted 18 times, had to punt a lot this season because your offense is so good. But then you look at Skylar Ormita and Max Sprott and Jai James. All those guys are Jai Jones. Those guys have been so big on your special teams as far as returns go. Talk about that part of your football team, that third of your football team, special teams, and how essential that will be on Saturday night.
No question, it'll be a big part of it. We need to win the field position battle, something that we did not do in that second half. So that's a big part of it. And just need to be solid there, and it's, the special teams, you don't have to go do anything tricky or anything like that, but you need to win the field position battle, you need to field the punts. We want to be plus 35 on the kickoff returns, and then, as kickoff team, try to put them inside the 25. So yeah, just little things like that. And then obviously field goal, extra point, we need to be automatic when we're out there. So, there's 4 teams left, and a lot of these things are going to come down to a kick or a block or one player here and there that's going to be the difference.
Coach, you mentioned the tale of two halves that you guys have been going through recently, being up 21-0 against Brophy, and then even against Hamilton a few weeks ago, being up 14-0 at halftime. And I stole a phrase from ASU head coach Kenny Dillingham, twist the knife. How important is it for you guys to get the lead and keep the lead in terms of keeping your foot on the gas pedal, keeping your foot on their throats, and finishing off the game?
Yeah, I mean, that's always important, right? And it's, like I said, we had a decent sized lead against Hamilton in that first half. But we obviously knew they were going to answer with some things, and, we got to be able to counter that. And that's, not necessarily, did we call a whole lot of things different. It's just about, you got to go out and execute. You got to make plays. And we talk about not flinching, and championship teams don't flinch. And there's going to be big moments Saturday night, and we'll see who flinches.
Coach Ty Wisdom from the Chandler Wolves, also Jaden Spann and Jacob Nahor joining us here tonight on the Desert Gridiron Game Plan. Gentlemen, thank you so much for your time. We certainly appreciate it. Good luck on Saturday against the Hamilton Huskies, and we're looking forward to that Open Division semifinal game. It should be a great one.
I appreciate it, guys. Take care. Thanks.
Appreciate you, fellas. Good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Stay with us. More of the Desert Gridiron Game Plan coming up after the break. We will visit with the Liberty Lions from Peoria, Arizona. Stay with us. More after the break. Get ready to feel the burn in Phoenix's newest hotspot. Hot Chicken Alley brings the sizzling Nashville-style hot chicken straight to your plate. Our finger-licking sandwiches will set your taste buds on fire. Come join us for a taste of Nashville right here in Phoenix at the corner of Tatum and Thunderbird. Brace yourself for a flavor explosion that'll keep you coming back for more. Hot Chicken Alley, a proud supporter of Thursday Night Football, right here on the Epic Sports Network.
All Insurance has been serving Arizona drivers for over 30 years, so we have the experience to take great care of you. We can help you over the phone or face-to-face from one of our 30 convenient valley-wide locations. We represent all of the top carriers, so we do the shopping for you. Find out why we're the most referred agency in Arizona. All Insurance, insurance for all.
We welcome you back to the Desert Gridiron Game Plan. James Spoovy alongside my broadcast partners, Ed Cole and Jamal Gumo. Guys, let's not waste any time. Let's get the Liberty Lions in here. Head coach Colin Thomas joining us here on the program. Coach Thomas, thank you so much. It's always great to catch up with you. Just give us a breakdown of the mood of the football team as you guys are just a few days out from the Open Division semifinal.
Yes, first of all, thanks for having me on. We're very excited. Obviously, this time of year, it's a lot to play for and playing really good opponents. So very excited for the tough matchup we have on Saturday.
Coach, let's go back and recap the Red Mountain game just for a couple minutes. 48-23, big win in the quarterfinals. Your defense was on point, gave up less than 200 yards of offense, 81 on the ground. So just give us I guess the coach's viewpoint on the game last week against the Red Mountain.
Yeah, our defense did a tremendous job like they always do. They got put some tough spots and still responded really well. As a team, obviously like to be a little bit cleaner at times, but playoff games are different atmospheres, and you got to kind of get used to that a little bit. But certainly to beat a quality rebound team, we're very pleased.
Coach, I want to go back to way earlier in the season, actually, week 2, after losing to Corner Canyon, and then not losing sense and not really having it being close. Can I ask what the message was, or what the flip or the switch was that flipped that maybe turned the season? I know it was early, but
yeah, I mean, just get to work and get better. I mean, if I'm honest, they're really good, and that was week 4 for them, week 2 for us. We had a lot to learn as a football team, and when you lose, it makes you reevaluate things a lot of ways. So I think after that, we kind of got some things, more fine-tuned, and then just worked every week. And I feel like we're showing a lot better football team now than we were, 10, 12 weeks ago, whenever that was.
Coach, you brought along your stud tight end here, Camden Siegel, tonight. Tell us about what this young man means to your offense over there for the Liberty Lions as we take a look at some of his film here.
Yeah, Cam's a really versatile player. He's great for us in the pass game. He's great in the run. He's intelligent. He's a leader. He's been exceptionally productive his whole time at Liberty, and that's why he's going to be a college football player next year.
Cam, for you, congratulations on your commitment to Eastern Washington. Can you talk about that and why you chose Eastern Washington, and how excited are you for when that next phase of your career comes up?
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it. East Washington, it's a really nice place. I mean, I fell in love with the coaching staff there, and the just the place itself. The weather's, super nice. So yeah, I'm really excited. I'm really excited to get these next few weeks, get onto this Basha team, and then hopefully onto the state championship again. And then, of course, I'm always looking forward to extending my football career and going to play college football.
Cam, obviously, you excel in the passing game, but how much pride, how much do you work on your blocking game, your ability to block, both in the run and the pass game?
Every day. My coaches definitely prepare me enough. A lot of times, coaches asking me, "Can you block? Can you run block? Can you pass block?" So that was definitely a main focus in my game that I definitely feel I've very improved on from last year to this year.
Cam, you guys have been very successful over there at Liberty High School in the past couple of seasons. How have you guys, speaking from a team perspective, how have you guys maintained the focus? Obviously, you have great coaching there with Coach Thomas and all of the assistant coaches, but how do you guys maintain the focus within the team to really keep the standard as high as it's been at Liberty over the past few seasons?
Well, we're really bought into for your brother, with your brother. So everybody's doing it for the person around you. The standard's been set really high, and we try to raise the bar every year. Being at Liberty for now 2 years, 2 seasons, it's been great. Everybody's bought in, and that's what just keeps us going.
Cam, Jamal talked about your blocking abilities in the running game. We see the Jaden brothers, Jaden Pico and Jaden Sanchez. They ran so well against Red Mountain, and they've done it all season long. 214 last week, 5 touchdowns. When you look at your offensive prowess when it comes to the running game, how much pride do you take in blocking and being able to open up holes and make things a little bit easier for both of the Jadens to do their thing?
Mm-hmm. Well, I feel like we have a great rushing attack. Our O-line does a phenomenal job. We got a couple guys that go in at tight end or fullback or whatever it may be to block. And I think we open the holes for a lot of guys. We got both Jadens. We got Esteban. Braden gets some touches here and there. So we got a lot of guys that can do it on the ground for us.
Coach Thomas, if you can kind of expand on maybe just the culture that you've built and the process of getting everybody to buy in, and obviously as you guys have been so successful throughout the season, what was the process like getting to that point, getting to the success?
Yeah, I think Cam kind of hit on the head. The standards are very high, and they've been set in years past, and brotherhood's a real thing for us we care about and try to buy in. We're very fortunate to have a lot of really good football players, but when you have that, you're going to have to share that, and be about the team more than about yourself. And our guys really buy into that, and it makes for, a really good experience and a fun experience. But everyone's not going to be always viewing it that way. So just proud of the kids about their unselfishness, and they know the standards to win games, whatever that means for them.
Coach, when you take a look at this Basha Bears team on film, what are you seeing from them under Coach McDonald? They've had a lot of success over there in the southeastern part of the valley over the last few seasons as well. What kind of challenges are they going to pose to your ball club this weekend?
Yeah, Basha's a tremendous football team, just like they were, last year and last few years as well. They have great team speed. They have great length. They have size. They're about everything you could want, they have. So, they're a really quality football team. They have great coaching as well. And we know we're in for a dogfight, and it should be a great Saturday.
Coach, we talked about how strong your defense was last week against Red Mountain, and it's been that way all season long. But you're taking on Basha, one of the best teams in the entire country. You guys have been able to get after the quarterback, stop the run, do everything you needed to do defensively. Are those going to be the same kind of keys that you're going to have Saturday night at Corona del Sol to take on these Basha Bears?
Sure, they have a lot of weapons. Obviously, starts 6 and 23 in the run game are both tremendous players. All the receivers are long and can run. They're big up front. Quarterbacks are accurate passers, good athletes. So I mean, they have everything that you can want to challenge the defense. So we realize we're going to play our best game. We're going to have to tackle really well in space. Limit their chance for explosive plays.
Cam, if I can kind of ask you the same question, what are you seeing from Basha's defense? And if there's one thing that your offense needs to do in order to go win this game, what would that be?
Yeah, I mean they've got a lot of good players there. They're good up front. They got backers that can fly around. Their secondary is very good. I think we need to run the ball with force and run it down their throats, truly. And then it's just going to open up the pass game for us. I mean, we got a lot of guys that can go and make plays. I mean, Braxton Wynn, Marley Chansey, Trey Yonker. We got a lot of people that can go and get the ball for us.
Cam, you're going to go play college football at the next level up there at Eastern Washington. What are you going to take from the coaching staff at Liberty? What have they poured into you over the past couple seasons that have really made a difference in your playing game and maybe even your personal life as well?
Definitely just being prepared and having a hard-working mindset. And always, Coach Thomas says a lot of so what. So whatever it may be, so what, next play, next assignment, next down, next play. It's just big in my life. Just keep moving on from things and don't let things affect you on a mental level.
Cam, I know you would like to have 2 more games in your high school career, this one and, of course, the state championship. Talk about just the relationships that you built with your brothers over the years, over this season. It's been a long season. Of course, you played 11 games. It's been an arduous season. The record's great, but still, there's plenty of ups and downs throughout the course of a season, even in a 10-1 season. But just the relationship and the bond that you built with your brothers, to your left, to your right, to your front, to your back, to every side of your body, the relationships that you built and how that's going to drive you even forward, hopefully for you, past these 2 games and on to Eastern Washington.
Our coaches talk about a lot about playing for the person next to you. So everybody's bought in. Everybody's playing for the person on their left and right, like you said. I mean, there's no one else I would rather do it with. This is the last time this team's going to be this way. So I want to get it done do whatever it takes.
Coach, how important has the leadership been on this team? Guys like Cam, the upperclassmen that have, obviously you have your coaches, but obviously the players in terms of the locker room. How important has the leadership been on this team?
Yeah, we talk all the time about great players. I mean, great team to be player-led, and that's how we are. We have tremendous senior leadership. Like you said, it's going to be ups and downs, whether you're winning or losing, and trying to keep everyone aligned. And I feel like our co-rate captains and our seniors did a great job of that. It makes our job as coaches, much easier. So very proud and thankful for those young men.
Cam, you guys have been blessed to have the voice, I would consider him, of Arizona high school football, especially from the public address side. And Jim Barnett out there at the Liberty Lions stadium over the past few seasons, really getting the crowd pumped. How exciting is it to have someone that legendary here in the Grand Canyon State? Of course, he's the voice of the Arizona Cardinals as well inside State Farm Stadium, but he's out there playing all the great music and getting the crowd hyped up every single game. How much fun is it to have JB on the mic there at Liberty High School?
I mean, it's really cool. It's a really good experience to have somebody of that caliber in our stadium with our players, our program. It's great. We walk out to the bells every game. He's playing the pregame music, and he's very lively on the mic. It definitely hypes up the crowd, hypes up the stadium, and just makes an overall fun game.
Yes, JB, one of the best voices. One of my mentors. I'm sure one of JP and JG's mentors as well in this broadcasting business. But Cam, talk about your family and your friends, your close-knit group of your boys and your homegirls and your family, that they love on you every single moment. They love to see Cam play football. Give them some love right now, because without them, you don't do this. Without their love and support, it's hard for you to do what you do at the level that you do it at.
Yeah, I mean, family is definitely everything to me. My parents have sacrificed who knows as much as they have. All my friends that stood by me, supported me from transferring over from Saguaro to Liberty, all my friends that came with me, the new relationships that I made with my brothers at Liberty now that I'll take on for my life, honestly. Those relationships have been great. I mean, I thank every one of those people every day.
Coach, if you could just talk a little bit about your coaching staff and how much they have been a big part of your success and how much they've meant to you personally?
Yeah, we've been very blessed to have a lot of guys together for a long time. Coach Sean Galore, our line coach, has been there, I think, with us now maybe 8 years. Coach Brian Cherry, our strength coach and D-line coach, been there 10 years. Coach Travis Guinea and Ian Gardner, our defense coordinator, special teams coordinator, have been there 6 years. The whole time I've been head coach. So having the continuity in the coaching staff and really high-quality people has helped lead to a lot of success. Then we have a lot of good young coaches who kind of come back in as well, kind of bridge that gap. I get no younger, so it's nice to have some young guys there. So no, we wouldn't be what we are without our community, without our staff, and obviously the commitment from the players as well.
Coach, when you look back on the 2025 season, obviously you guys have had a tremendous amount of success and hopefully continuing that over the next couple of games. But what will be some moments that'll stand out to you as you reflect back on 2025?
Yeah, obviously the standard is really high, so these 2 weeks to determine, a lot how you end up viewing it. But, one, I'm just proud of the kids, their commitment, consistency. Expectations is a great thing, but also can be a burden at times. And they never shied away from, they work their tails off every day to kind of write their own story and control the narrative there. And it's just been a pleasure. It's not hard to go to work every day. Those guys want to practice. They want to have joy. So it makes your job very easy when those guys show up ready to work every day.
Coach, how has your job gotten better? How have you grown over this particular season as the head coach of the Liberty Lions?
Yeah, I think the job's gotten better over the years. We keep getting better players. You know what I'm saying? That helps out having really good football players. But, I think every year has its own different challenges, and you just learn to try to manage people and put people in the right position to be successful. So I think every year it's always a little bit different with that. So hopefully this year we're growing a little bit as a coach. And again, it's been great to have the group of seniors that we had, and hopefully we can send them out the right way.
Coach, you got to have those X's and O's, but you definitely have to have those Jimmys and Joes out there that can execute it on the football field. Head coach Colin Thomas joining us here, along with tight end Camden Siegel from the Liberty Lions. Gentlemen, thank you so much for your time. It's always a pleasure to catch up with the team over there from the NOPO and see how things are going for the Lions. Good luck this weekend against the Basha Bears, and we look forward to catching with you guys in the very near future.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it very much.
Absolutely. Stay with us. More of the Desert Gridiron Game Plan coming up next. We'll talk about the Basha Bears. Stay with us.
It starts with a dream and a desire to be the best. You got the talent, you got the drive, and the work ethic. But to get recruited, it takes more than that. You need a playbook. That's where Recruit ID comes in. Our digital tools connect you with college programs that are fast, easy, and effective. Your dream is closer than you think. Let's get you seen. Visit recruitid.net and take your recruitment to the next level.
On game day, communication is everything. Procom offers the most powerful, most reliable headsets on the market. Paired with our state-of-the-art coach-to-player communication tools, your team is sure to dominate. It's time to communicate like a pro. Visit us at procomheadsets.com.
All Insurance has been serving Arizona drivers for over 30 years, so we have the experience to take great care of you. We can help you over the phone or face-to-face from one of our 30 convenient valley-wide locations. We represent all of the top carriers, so we do the shopping for you. Find out why we're the most referred agency in Arizona. All Insurance, insurance for all.
Get ready to feel the burn in Phoenix's newest hotspot. Hot Chicken Alley brings the sizzling Nashville-style hot chicken straight to your plate. Our finger-licking sandwiches will set your taste buds on fire. Come join us for a taste of Nashville right here in Phoenix at the corner of Tatum and Thunderbird. Brace yourself for a flavor explosion that'll keep you coming back for more. Hot Chicken Alley, a proud supporter of Thursday Night Football, right here on the Epic Sports Network.
Discover more Play for All at Harrah's Auction Casino.
Hi folks, here are your drinks.
Where having fun means racking up reward credits with the Caesars Rewards loyalty program that can be redeemed for food, free play, hotel stays, and more. Not only here in the city of Maricopa, but also at more than 50 Caesars properties coast to coast. From Harrah's Las Vegas to Caesars Palace in Atlantic City. What are you waiting for? Play for all at Harris Auction Casino, the official sponsor of Play.
We welcome you back to the Desert Gridiron Game Plan here on the Epic Sports Network. James Spoovy alongside Jamal Gumo and Mr. Ed Cole. Ed, first of all, thank you for taking the time out. And thank both of you guys, first of all, for getting things started here for me tonight. Unfortunately, I was a little bit late to the show. Had some business to take care of over at a very familiar location for you, Mr. Cole, at Arizona Christian University. I was inside the ACU Event Center tonight for some basketball, but great football talk here tonight, guys. Open Division semifinal preview here. Of course, we got to talk with the Chandler Wolves. That was great. And now we got to talk with the Liberty Lions. Always great to catch up with head coach Colin Thomas. And he just keeps that thing rolling over there in North Peoria.
Yeah, fellas, this is going to be a great matchup over at Corona del Sol on Saturday night. Liberty, number 3 in the Open against the number 2 Basha Bears. This is going to be a car crash, a clash of the Titans, whatever you want to say, Jamal. It is going to be a series of car crashes throughout 48 minutes of football. That's going to be so exciting. You know, Coach McDonald has got to have his guys ready. Basha's going to walk in that place. Liberty's going to walk in that place. And these two teams are just going to lock horns. It's going to be an awesome football game.
Yeah, they're going to play some football. They're going to get down. They're going to get dirty. And it's going to be an exciting game. Coach Thomas mentioned some of the weapons that Basha has. He mentioned 6 and 23, 6 being Noah Roberts and 23 being Josh Gaines. Two guys who run the ball at a ridiculously high level. I mean, against Williamsfield last week, Noah Roberts had 7 carries for 128 yards and 3 touchdowns. I mean, and that – I mean, look at the damage that these guys can do. So I can't wait. It's going to be a fantastic matchup. It's playoff football.
And then, JP, you throw in Cash Brock's name. The kid's got 830 yards receiving, 10 touchdowns. Then you throw Jaden Baldwin in there. He's got 600 yards receiving and 4 touchdowns. So on top of Noah Roberts and Joshua Gaines, you got to account for those guys too.
Yeah, and then how about quarterback Brody Veers, who we know is a stud from the quarterback position. He has so many weapons to get the ball to, and I love when you see opposing coaches looking at film, and it's all about the numbers, right? Oh, we got to stop 6, we got to stop 23, we got to stop 47, we got to stop 15, we got to stop 9. I mean, you could go on and on and on when you talk about the Bash Bears team, and then not only do they play offense, but they play some solid defense as well. You talk about a guy like Eli Kramer Cronin, one of the leading tacklers in the Grand Canyon State this season. They're loaded on offense, defense, and special teams over there off of Val Vista.
And then, Jamal, all you got to do is look back to that Williamsfield game last week. Here's an idea of what their defense does. They gave up 10 points in the first half, nothing to the Blackhawks in the second half. They gave up 269 yards rushing, 231 to Corshawn Hill, but just 1 touchdown. So that's the very definition of a bend but don't break defense. The fact that they can give up 10 points, give up almost 300 yards rushing, but only 1 touchdown on the ground.
Yeah, and that's, if there is one flaw that Basha is going to have to clean up is defending the run. It's going to be tough to give up like 230 yards for 6.5 yards a carry again and be able to win the game. But like you mentioned, bend but don't break. And, Ed and JP, the number that stands out to me are the 2 interceptions. So they turned the ball over.
Yep.
They got turnovers. And, JP, Ed and I were talking a little earlier. Turnovers can make or break a football game for you, especially in the playoffs. They cost double. Turnovers cost double in the playoffs. And so if you're a team that's able to capitalize off those turnovers, it's going to be a long night.
You talk about disrupt your game there in the playoffs, Jamal. They will disrupt your season in the playoffs, and they'll cause you to turn the pads in earlier than you want to if you make those unforced errors in the playoffs. And, there's such a very small margin of error in the playoffs. You cannot make any mistakes, and then all you can do if you make a mistake is hope that somehow, some way, the other team is not able to capitalize on that mistake.
Well, JP, were you watching the show on the way home from ACU or what? That's exactly what we talked about before you came on. You must have been watching this on the way home.
We paused on for just a minute. Yep. Tough to drive. Not supposed to be watching TV while we're driving, of course, Ed. But, yes, it's going to be something this weekend. This Open Division semifinal is absolutely loaded. And then, of course, you have to take into account the neutral site, which will be in play as well. So both these teams will not have their home fans behind them, but we'll see which team travels the best as well this weekend.
Yep. But we know both of these teams, all four of these teams in the open division, they are the cream of the crop in the open division, and they are there for a reason because they are that good. They overcame all of their issues, all of the mistakes that they made, but they rose above all of that, and they made just the right amount of plays offensively, defensively, and on special teams to be one step away from going to Mountain America Stadium.
Yeah, and what I'm excited to watch is the defenses for both of these teams. I mean, Liberty hasn't finished a 2-possession game. Every single game that they've played in this year has been a margin of 2 possessions or more. Like, that's how good their defense is. You know, aside from the game that they lost, that wasn't also 2 possessions. But aside from that, they've won every other game, and it hasn't been close. So now they're really going to be put to the test by Basha, whose defense is also playing at a supremely high level, turning the ball over, bending but not breaking. That's going to be the key. Who can score the most points? And JP, I wouldn't be surprised if this was a 10-13 game, a 17-13 game. This is going to be like, I think this is going to be a defensive battle. And those are some of my favorite games.
It might be. You know, we had that 10-7 battle just a short week ago in our final broadcast of the season. And you never know. These playoff games, like we talk about that slim margin of error, you've got to get the points when they're available for you to get, whether that be a field goal or a touchdown, or maybe even get some points on defense, because, you know, that could be a tide turner as well.
Yeah. You talked about that. If we can just talk about the 6A for a minute or so, South Point Catholic, we talked about them knocking off Pinnacle last week. Of course, we had that game out of Pinnacle. They're taking on Castile, so they're going to make another trip up here to Queen Creek. And then on the other side of the 6A, ALA Queen Creek is taking on the defending 6A state champions. So those are going to be 2 outstanding games for the right to go to Mountain America Stadium to fight for that 6A state championship game. So everything that we just talked about in these 2 games for the open division, that applies for the 6A, that applies for the 5A, that applies to the 4A, that applies for everybody.
Yeah,
and 3A and 2A.
It's you know, both the guys mentioned the margin of error is so slim. And so the other thing that stands out to me is, you know, when you're playing these bend but don't break defenses, is force them to break. You gotta get 6 points in the red zone. When you get there, when you get on the goal line, you got to put the ball in the end zone, because field goals will get you beat. Field goals will get you beat if you're not able to put the ball in the end zone when you get down to the 20-yard line, the 10-yard line, the goal line. And so the teams that are able to put the ball in the end zone when they get to that red zone are the teams who are going to be the most successful.
You're so right, Jamal, and you've got to make it count as soon as you get down there. You know, it's often been called the red zone since the beginning of time, but when I was coaching for a couple of years, we called it the green zone. When we got in there, we need to put our foot on the gas. We need to go. We don't want to stop. We need to go right now in that red zone, and that's why we would call it the green zone. But you know what I'm talking about. You got to get those points because they're at such a premium in the playoffs.
Yep, because, you know, the other team's thinking the same thing. If we get in the red zone, we got to get 6. We're not settling for 3. So if the opposition settles for 3, we got to get 6, because clearly 6 is more than 3.
Yeah, 100%. And again, that's when those defenses get stingy. Those Bashes of the world, the Liberties of the world, the Chandlers of the world, they get stingy down in that red zone. And so that's where especially when you have one of these dual threat quarterbacks who can run the ball. I mean, that's how big of a weapon they are in the red zone, your ability to run the ball in the red zone. When you have weapons like a Roy Oliver, like a Devin Fitzgerald, like one of these guys you can just throw it up to and go get it. So you have to use every opportunity you possibly can to score in the red zone, because who knows, again, with these stingy defenses, who knows how many more opportunities you're going to get in the red zone on the goal line, JP. And so that's how important it is to get 6 instead of 3.
Yeah, all these teams fighting for these playoff spots this weekend are going to have to fight for every single blade of grass, because we talk about it every week during the regular season. You can ride a good running game and a great defense all the way to a gold ball, and that's exactly what some of these teams are going to try to do this weekend.
But you know what can ride you home? What can send you home? Penalties and turnovers.
Oh,
yes. You can run for 1,000 yards in a game, and you can do whatever you want offensively. But if you turn the ball over 3 or 4 times and you've got 15 or 20 penalties, and your special teams are not doing their part, they're giving up long returns. Your kicker's missing field goals, and your punter is shanking punts. Then you're handing your pads in the next day. Yeah,
and you know, Ed, you and I were talking about earlier in the show. You cannot shoot yourself in the foot. You have to be disciplined. You have to use your technique. You have to keep your foot on the gas pedal. And JP, I used the term earlier, twist the knife. Chandler got bit by it a couple times so far in the past few weeks. They got bit by it last week, having a 21-0 lead at halftime, and then giving up all those points in the second half, and then having a 14-0 lead against Hamilton earlier in the season and blowing that game. So when you get the lead, you have to twist the knife. You have to keep your foot on the gas pedal. You have to keep going. And so if you're not able to do that, these teams are talented enough to come back to make the game competitive again. If you're lackadaisical, if you be content with the lead that you have, you will get beat.
And shout out to Miss Margaret Voss, who commented on YouTube. She's cheering on Cam. She's the grandmother of Cam Siegel, tuning into the show tonight. We certainly appreciate your viewership, and says she's so blessed to be part of the Liberty High School community. It really is a tight-knit community over there in North Peoria. And, they talk about, we don't recruit over here. They don't. They just get the players that they have in the neighborhood. They coach them up, and that's the really good sign of a great coaching staff, being able to take what you have in-house and make it great.
Yeah, and you heard what Coach Thomas said when we asked him about, hey, so how have you gotten better as a head coach? How have you improved as a head coach with your play calling and just everything you've done this season? It really is because of the talent and the quality, the quality level of players that they bring into the program. I'm sure Coach McDonald, if he was here, he would say the exact same thing. It comes down to recruiting. You got to bring the right guys in that's going to buy into your system, that's going to help build and develop this culture at Liberty and at Basha or at Chandler or at Hamilton or at South Point Catholic or Castile or any of these other teams that are still playing football right now. It does come down to the level of players that you get compared to other schools.
Yeah, and even to build off of that, first of all, I'd love to give a big shout out to Cam Siegel. I mean, he was you can tell just listening to him talk. He's so well spoken. He's disciplined. He's in high school and seems like a professional. And that's just a perfect example of, Ed, to your point, bringing in the right guys, bringing in the guys who start that culture. And he's going to play on Saturdays for that reason, because of not only what he does on the field, but what he does off the field, being a leader, carrying himself, going about his life the right way. And so that's how you build a program. That's how you recruit a successful program. And so having guys like Cam Siegel to lead your locker room, JP, is so essential to success, to winning that gold ball at the end of the season.
No doubt the cream will be rising to the top this weekend as the Open semifinals take place here in the Grand Canyon State. And then the 2A and 3A state championships will be happening this weekend as well. Scottsdale Christian will be competing for one of those 2A state championships, or for one of those championships in the 2A bracket. So some exciting football this weekend. Thanks to everyone who tuned in tonight to the Desert Gridiron Game Plan. We'll do it again next week. And I think we're going to carry this thing all the way through to the state championships. Am I right, fellas?
Yes.
Let's do it.
Let's go.
Let's do it. This is too much fun not to be talking some Arizona high school football. Once again, thanks everyone for tuning in. Have a great night. Have a great Thanksgiving, and enjoy the plethora of football we have for you this weekend. We'll see you next Tuesday night for another edition of the Desert Gridiron Game Plan. Happy Thanksgiving, y'all.
Happy Thanksgiving, guys.
Happy Thanksgiving.